Broke girls with high standards are now in tears. Broke girls with high standards are now in tears. Today we have some videos from Soraya, Mediocre Tutorials, and Katie Johnson. All channels will be linked in the description. So you have a lot of women who said they don't need no man. They can do bad all on their own, and now they're finding themselves childless, single, and with dwindling prospects for a future and a family. Watch this video to fully understand how these broke girls destroyed their futures and what these major implications are going to be for all women going forward. Because come 2030, half of all women in just the United States alone, or just roughly half, will be childless and single. So now let's just go ahead and jump right into the first video.
Some women feel like I'm stepping on their toes with the content that I am creating, but guess what? You're going to have to sit Indian style because I am going to continue to speak about the things that I speak about. I'm going to continue to reveal the truth because the truth will set you free. The truth will humble you real quick, and the truth will make you learn. And on top of that, the truth will tell you about your real worth. So today I want to talk about the question, should women lower their standards when it comes to dating men? Let me know what you think in the comment section, but before we get into today's video, I would like to welcome you to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for your support, and everyone have a great start into the new week. Make sure you stay safe, blessed, hydrated, and don't let no one get on your nerves.
I want to just point this out. She mentioned, should women lower their standards? But what women have right now in Western society, these are not standards. These are not standards. These are delusions. Because the kinds of men that they say they're looking for do not exist most of the time, or they're in the top 1% of men. And if they're in the top 1% of men, why are they going to choose you? I did a video recently about, leftover women who are being scammed for hundreds of thousands of dollars by chads. And this has been happening multiple times because these women don't know how to stay in their lane. And then they make it very easy for these types of men to swoop in and basically tell them a load of nonsense and then empty their bank accounts. So, when it comes to lowering their standards, modern women need to first reassess what is even practical, because these are not standards. These are delusions. Okay? Saying that a guy has to be at least 6 feet tall, and he has to be this ethnicity, and he has to have a six-pack, and he has to make above this amount of money. And then she keeps going. And then it's not just that. He has to have this personality type. And he has to do this and this and this and this and this and this. She has a laundry list. Those are not standards. Those are delusions. Once you get past, for example, income, at certain qualities, okay. But once you get past, like three of those things, once you get past height and income and, look and specific looks, and you're still going, those are no longer standards. Once women get past the 666, he has to make at least six figures, be 6 feet tall, and have a six-pack. Once women cross that threshold, those are no longer standards. Those are now delusions. Because expecting any man to have these qualities is absolutely ridiculous. If a man turned around and said that he was looking for a woman similar who was like, she was like, at least 5'6", and she made this amount of money, and she was extremely fit, so she has abs, and she graduated from this specific university, and she loves romantic comedies, but she doesn't like romantic comedies, that center around this certain topics, but other topics. And she likes walking the parks, and she likes spaghetti, but she doesn't like meatballs, but she likes spaghetti without meatballs and without sauce, but with Parmesan cheese. This is crazy. We're getting into the terror. This is how women think. And I just could never be with someone who likes meatballs and sauce with their spaghetti, because it's absolutely not nasty. It tastes so much better and way more creamy when it has a little bit of Alfredo cheese in it and sprinkled with some Parmesan cheese. So yeah, I cannot tolerate anyone who is not into that. All right, I couldn't even watch them eat. This is how women are. This is how women are in Western society today. Like literal tiny things like that, and they'll go, "I'll get exactly what I want." And in reality, it's not about what they want; it's what they'll settle for. They tell you what they want. In other words, they don't actually love this guy. It's a build a beer workshop, but they don't even love the beer. They resent it. And then the guys that they actually love are the little ponchos of the world.
Okay, let's start over here. Why do we end up popping Tony's?
Um, that was kind of boring. It wasn't nothing like more.
Wait,
Just
what was
like I
boring?
just drive trucks.
I mean, you asked what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, nothing against it. I definitely appreciate it, but like for me, that's not for me.
If that man would have been the truck driver with a load full of wigs, and if he wouldn't have made it on time, maybe she would have been in trouble coming to the show today. I'm just saying, no shade. Here's the thing about it. She asked him a question and she says, "What do you do for work?" And he says, "I'm a truck driver." What did she expect?
You know what's very interesting about this? There are a lot of truck drivers, not all, but there are a lot of truck drivers that make over $100,000 a year. A lot of truck drivers make over 100,000 years, over $100,000 a year, because some truck drivers own their truck and they're able to pull in well over 100. Some experienced truck drivers can pull in a couple $100,000 a year. So she knows absolutely nothing about this, about that business, because she looks down upon someone who drives a truck. Driving a truck is fun. Modern women have completely lost themselves. For example, imagine you're in a relationship with a truck driver and he's making bank and he travels all across the country. And you can even travel with him sometimes. He likes the company. And you can hop in the truck and there's a bed in there. It's nice. They actually have a real setup. A lot of these trucks have an entire huge setup. They have TVs and bathrooms and everything in there. And you could travel around and shout everything that you could imagine. And you can travel around the country with him and get to see the world with him. But you're too good for his truck. You're too good for this truck driver, who, by the way, has an extraordinary amount of knowledge of the way things work. You don't know this truck driver. You don't know how much paper he has in the bank. You don't know the properties that he owns. You don't know any of those things. All you know how to do is criticize and try to shame this man. This is how modern women are. There was an NFL player, I think it was an NFL player, and he left the NFL. And the entire time he was in the NFL, the actual business that he wanted to be in, believe it or not, was the porter potty business. And he went to great lengths to learn how the porter potty business works. And now he has his own huge porter potty business where they supply porter potties and a bunch of things. He basically saw a problem, solved the problem, and now they provide porter potties, cleaning of the porter potties, all of this. They rent them out and all of that stuff, all of that jazz. And he's making paper right now. And women look down upon these men. Guys, women look down upon the garbage men. Women look down upon the men who work in sanitation, who work in sanitation departments. So, for example, what like waste treatment facility where they deal with poopy water. Women are like, "Oh my gosh, you're one of those people. Oh, you stink." This guys, she doesn't even realize that in those places you have chemical engineers, people with masters and PhDs, and she is shaming men who work with wastewater. See, women don't even give a shit about things like hygiene. This is crazy. You have women saying leave jobs like firefighters, police officers, and paramedics alone. Leave those jobs alone. What would happen if men left those jobs alone? It would be hell on earth. You get sick, no one's going to come for you. All right? There's a fire, no one's going to put it out. Vandals and thugs are roaming the streets, no one's going to go and deal with them. No one's going to police the streets to keep them off the streets. And the same women that are saying these things, they don't even realize without some of these people out there, they have no power. All those power and privilege, all that power and privileges, all the power and privileges that women have, they think that these things come. They have manifested these things. They don't understand that it was given to them by the state. The state has given them special privileges while men have been given special punishments. But those privileges can be taken away at any time. And if the state doesn't even have enough enforcers to go out there and enforce the will of the state, then you basically just have anarchy out there. Okay? Where basically anyone can do whatever the hell they want, and women's rights would vanish overnight, just like they did in Venezuela when the state failed. Women don't truly understand just how much they need men. Now, don't get me wrong. I think women like Soraya do, because you have to remember, like countries like Turkey, and she's a Turkish woman, and these countries, they have stories, they have history, and they know what happens when the men, when their countries get taken over or the men flee the country. Because a country without its men is not a country. A country without its men is a wasteland. Okay, that it's as simple as that. And if men do not have love for country or do not have love for family, they will fight for neither. That is the reality women have created in Western society, and they will forever portray themselves as victims because that's what has been spoon-fed to them over the course of their entire lives. It's way too easy for a woman to always play the victim. This is the reason why you have to have a society that's balanced and doesn't always deviate towards that, because that is a tactic that girls will automatically use against boys and men. That's something that has to be conditioned out of them. They have to learn consequences very quickly, and they also have to learn that there will be no double standards because of their gender. If you do not teach them these things, then they will go through life believing that not only are they special, but they are superior because they can use lies, deceit, and every other means of deception to get what they want, and no one will call them out on it. And even if they are found out, they can just simply deny it and say they don't remember. And people will and they can turn on the waterworks, and simps will, and the rest of society has to forgive them now. We have to have a society where the waterworks no longer work. And what's interesting is when women are being held accountable and the waterworks don't work, you'll be shocked when suddenly they just turn the waterworks off. Because many women, if not most women, if not all women, can turn them on and turn them off at will. This is something different from men. As men, if when a man breaks down in tears, it's because it's bad. A man cannot just start crying and stop crying at will, unless he's maybe a trained actor. And even then, it's different. The typical woman can do this. The typical woman can start crying and stop crying whenever she feels like it. Men need to wake up and realize just who we are dealing with, just what we are dealing with, and how much problems and how much trouble that has created for us. We have to understand that men and women are not the same. Men and women are biologically different. Women process reasoning using feelings, men process feelings using facts. That's one of the reasons why men and women will always butt heads, because we will always look at things differently. We are going to look at things as men factually. Women are going to look at things using feelings. The problem with going down the feelings route is that you basically get lost. You can easily get lost in delusion. You can easily get lost in delulu, in wishful thinking, crafting a reality that cannot exist. And if you say to a woman, "Bro, what you're saying is delulu," that's slang for delusion. They'll say they don't care. Okay, they'll say that they don't care. It's only after they have scorched the earth and ruined their lives then that they may very well sit down and say, "I screwed up. I believe I listened to my feelings and they betrayed me." No, bro, you chose to listen to your feelings. You chose to ignore facts. You chose to replace facts with feelings, and treat feelings as facts. That's what you chose to do. Or you selectively chose the facts that you liked, even if the facts were not did not properly align with reality. Everything was completely selective with you. All right? Because sometimes we're not even dealing with facts, more so we're dealing with theories. Just like when we have feminist theory, and we're looking at a theory that is now being used in the place of facts. Okay? And no matter how many times these theories have been disproven, they just keep on regurgitating it anyway, to the point where many just accept it as the truth. Even though, if you prove that it's false using facts by repeating it over and over and over, people still buy it as truth. It's a terrible and disrespectful and evil thing to do, but it's something that is constantly done. And women don't understand that they are shaping a reality where no one wants to live. And if you say that, if you have justice for some and no justice for others, freedom for some or no freedom for others, eventually you will find yourself with no freedom also. It's not that you're superior, it's just that you are given special privileges because they have a purpose for you. But as soon as they no longer have that purpose, and don't think they always will, those privileges will go away very quickly.
What did she expect him to say? And that's a huge problem. A woman will turn you down just because of the simple fact that she is bored of the things that you told her. What does that tell you about a woman? That she wants to be entertained. You got to entertain her every day, all day. And if you don't pay enough attention to her, she will go get entertained by some other guy who is more entertaining. You got to listen to these women when they talk to you, and they will reveal a lot of information about them. She wouldn't even be able to answer the question properly when he said, okay, that was the questions that you asked me. What was so boring about it? In my humble opinion, truck drivers are very much needed.
Oh, nothing against it. I definitely appreciate it, but like for me, that's not for me.
I get it. You young, so
like,
I understand.
I am young, and it's kind of like boring.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm here now, but I'm still gonna grow.
Absolutely.
And that's just
It's not
no,
your
just
speed.
just
It's
hearing
okay.
that, just hearing that from with nothing else, no context, nothing else to it. It's just
And what type of context you look for when you ask?
he
a
said. So
truck
he said
driver?
what he's into now, and then he also went like, okay, but I have these goals and aspirations.
But that's not what you asked. You asked, what do you do for work?
Yeah, that's what
And I
you
told
do.
you what I do for work.
What they do currently is okay because they're bosses. I like a boss stature. Not saying that
Okay,
you're not
so
a boss. I like
you a
to
gold
somebody
digger,
who
pretty
calls the
much.
shots.
You a
No.
gold digger?
I like somebody who can lead me because I call shots. I need somebody who can call my shots as well. Not saying that you can't. Just like off the response you gave, it wasn't like you can handle me.
Okay.
I know me, so
Okay.
Shit,
Nothing against
everybody's
you.
entitled to their own opinion. You feel like I can't handle you, then I can't handle you.
All right.
Here's the crazy thing. She just did him a favor. Women don't understand that a man doesn't want to be with a woman who he has to handle. All right? This is how women end up in toxic relationships with toxic men, thugs, prisoners, ex-cons, okay? Runaways who they believe can handle them. Sometimes extremely violent men. And then when these women end up in these situations where they're with these horrible dudes and then things don't work out, they then turn around and blame all men because they'll say, I didn't want this guy, this boring ass guy right here. I wanted a guy who can handle me. And then they get a man who can handle them, but they don't like eventually how he handles them because he's too rough and tough. And then they find themselves with nothing, destitute, with kids, in poverty, and then they'll turn around and blame all men. This is the inner thinking of modern women. Soraya is strong. I'll give Soraya a lot of credit. She is a very strong woman because many women don't survive in this space. I've seen women come and go over the last 10 years. I've been in this space for so many years. And a lot of women who, they went down the, MRA route or anti-fem or whatever, they don't last. A lot of, as far as I know, I don't see them. I don't really see them. Maybe they're still making content, are there, and they're just not as popular as they used to be. But a lot of them fell off. That a lot of these women fell off because it gets exhausting. These fights, you have to understand that the women in these so-called empowered women that that pushed for this society that hates men, these women are vitriolic. And a lot of women get tired. They can't keep fighting. They have families, they have children, life happens. Sometimes they end up with, health conditions happen, CANCER happens, things happen. People get tired. They can't keep fighting forever. These, they're fighting these individuals who will call their jobs and try to have them fired, find their kids schools and try to have their kids put out. These it's like if you go against the sisterhood, there are some very serious consequences. The very moment when I hear a woman go, there's no such thing as the sisterhood. Okay, sis, got you. You're right then and there. We know you are a liar because the sisterhood is very, very real. I have encountered the sisterhood. You've got to be kidding me. This is that this is women are, it's a master class in gaslighting. The same women who will try to convince you that the sisterhood doesn't exist, and they're like trying to talk against women who are the highly empowered women while propping themselves up and acting like they themselves are good women, but saying the sisterhood does not exist. These women are something else. And if you look at these women very carefully, a lot of the women who are out here saying these things now, acting like they're against the sisterhood and all this bullshit, they're covered up in tats. Go to their Instagram. They're in like every picture. Every picture is them in some scantily clad outfit or a bikini. There's nothing wrong in being with a bikini at the beach, okay, or at the pool. But if you have bikini pictures, if most of your Instagram is bikini shots, and many of those pictures are not even at the beach, why are you in a bikini in the snow? Oh, you just thought it just looked cute. No, it's a thirst trap. So you're posting, why do you have all of these pictures of you in your underwear and these close-ups? I'm just saying, because you're out here acting like you're a good woman, but look at how you carry yourself. And again, I'm not saying that every picture is inappropriate or even posting one picture is inappropriate, but why is like every picture of you looking promiscuous? Basically, you're just virtue signaling, trying to enter into the manosphere space and gain attention. That's it. You don't actually give a damn about men, guys. I told you about these women who are now using basically, they're only fools models, and they're basically putting out pro passport bro content, pro soft guy era content, pro MWA content. Okay, they are hitting every base, and then they turn around and they put their link tree in their bio or their Insta, and it directs you to their only fools. And then, of course, the simps, because I told you the manosphere is rife with simps because they have nowhere else to go. The simps go over there and start giving these women money immediately. And you know what the craziest thing is, the saddest thing is? Many of these women, you can find so much of their content online, reposted. Trust me, the simps can find it. They know exactly how to find their content. They know exactly how to find the content of these women. If I can find it, the Sims 100% can find it. They will spend days, weeks, and years searching for this information. So they find it very quickly. They find all of this content free because other men who get it just repost it online. And in many cases, like a lot of it doesn't get taken down. So there's all of this content out there. Why are you paying for it? The answer is truth, because these simps want to feel special. They want to feel validated. They want it to come from the woman. And in many cases, these women they're just talking to the equivalent of bots. There's some dude on the other end pretending to be a chick and telling these guys what they want to hear. I mean, it's so gross. I think the whole thing is so gross. And yet these guys just won't learn their lessons. Okay? They want the girlfriend experience, the mommy experience. It's sick. It's sick. The Sims just can't stop, won't stop. The Sims just keep on going and going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. These guys just won't give it a break. Once a simp, always a simp. It's sad, but it's true. These Sims just won't learn their effing lessons. They won't learn their damn lessons. And that's why they're called Sims. Can't stop, won't stop. Simping just won't stop.
So what she's basically telling the man is, you couldn't have been an owner operator. You couldn't have had your own trucking company. So they just label you as this boring truck driver, and then they just continue to move on. When she's the one that clearly has no idea what she's talking about, because when he said, what don't you like about it, she couldn't answer. And then she goes ahead and says, I'm here now, but I'm going to grow, and I am young. But what does that have to do with anything? Absolutely nothing. And then she goes ahead and says, I know me, you can't handle me. So basically, she's absolutely not giving any context to something that she has started talking about. And he's just over there continuously asking the questions that needed to be asked. But a lot of these women are not ready for a man who knows how to ask the right questions at the right time. Because her answers didn't even match the questions that this young guy was asking her. You're talking about you can't be handled? No woman should ask you to handle her.
Name 5 things that you have to offer a man.
Nothing, and nothing.
You ain't with that one.
Love, peace, quiet, booty, and respect could have been her answer, but since she is young, out with her friends, has no guidance, doesn't know anything about being in a healthy relationship, and she's being in them streets and probably all over social media with a whole bunch of simps in her DMs, she says nothing, and nothing. You saying that now? You're saying that now. I was 25 before. I was in them streets before. I'm not going to lie. Yes, I was out partying too, but not what these young women are doing today. It was a whole different story. But back to the topic. Once you get a certain age, and I'm telling you, ladies, if you hear me, listen to me. There are changes coming overnight. Your body is literally changing overnight. Your emotions take over you out of nowhere. Your hair may start falling out. Your skin starts changing. What I'm trying to say here is, if you are doing dumb shit while your sexual marketplace value is on its highest peak, and then you're getting older, probably stuck with 2 to 3 kids, you are not going to be high commodity anymore. Nobody is going to be checking for you anymore. Your chances of being able to be with a decent guy that has a stable job is basically all the way down here. Because a lot of women are always talking about that they are single by choice, but I don't buy it. If you ladies are single by choice, if your career is so good, if you feel so fulfilled, happy and content, why are so many of you inside of your car breaking down in tears that you are sick and tired of being single?
Guys, one of the things too that a lot of women don't even understand, they don't understand money. They don't understand. They have no financial literacy. They don't understand disposable income, the concept of disposable income. Like I was talking about the truck driver earlier. The truck driver never went to college. The truck driver, instead of going to college, started driving a truck at 18. And, lived with his parents. So he didn't like go out and get an apartment or anything like that. Continued living with his parents. And when he wasn't driving, he was driving. When he wasn't driving, he would stay with his parents. And other than that, he was driving his truck. All of his money he ended up saving. So now you have a truck driver who makes, let's say, $75,000 a year, which women don't think is much money at all. But he's been saving his money all of this time. And he's been driving a truck all of this time and putting his money in the bank all of this time and putting some of it in the bank, some of it in stocks. And he has a net worth now of approaching $1 million. And that's not what's saving every dime necessarily, but he's bought things that he wanted. He lives a good life. PlayStation, he has PlayStation and everything in the that's what those are one-time purchases in the truck. He lives comfortably, but he doesn't have a lot of needs. Doesn't have a lot of needs. And as a result of that, he's doing really, really well. And he has all of this money. He has all of this money in the bank and no debt. Bank and money in the bank, money across stocks. He's receiving a return on his money. So he actually makes like 4 to 5% return on his money. So he's living his best life. And a woman will choose a guy making, 6 figures that has a massive amount of student loan debt, who has a bunch of personal debt, bunch of business debt, and she'll say this is the high value man. When this guy has issues with the IRS, issues with the banks, issues with family. Yes, this man owes family and friends money. Okay? Massive amounts of student loan debt. And he's driving around looking like he's a baller, when this dude really doesn't have it like that, and his life can fall apart at any moment. He goes out and he buys a woman a drink. That's on credit. And he's basically burning the candle at both ends. Like he's going to end up filing for bankruptcy. He may end up going to jail for being a swindler. But these are the low character, low value men that they go for, because they don't think about the qualities of what a good man is and the long term. Women don't want good guys, okay? They like bad guys. They like the guys who are dishonest, who tell them a lie. And women will basically tell you, lie to them. They'll tell you indirectly to lie to them. Don't tell them the truth. Keep a mysterious edge. Basically, give them an illusion. Make them feel good. Stroke that ego. Keep them. They don't want to be bored, because if they get bored, then they're going to want to go run to the next one. They don't understand that life, you can't always be out there doing these types of things. You can't always be in the streets. And a lot of women feel like, from the streets they came, to the streets they shall return. Look at Tia Mowry. Look at what this woman is doing. She left her husband, a good man, Corey something, because the streets were calling, because she got bored in her marriage. And now she's putting up disgusting pictures on Instagram, shaming herself, shaming her family, shaming her kids, using her children as props. She's distanced herself from her sister, because her sister is happily married. Her sister is not in the streets. So what is she? And her sister's not about the streets. So what is she going to do? What does she do? She's like, okay, well, if you're not about that life, then we can't, we're going to have to just, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Like, that's literally how modern women are right now. That's how they are. It's so insane. It's so insane how women think and how women behave today. They feel that the world revolves around them, and they can have anything that they want and anyone that they want. And if you challenge them on it, well, then buddy, you're not gonna like it then. You're not gonna like it then. Because they're told that they're perfect. They're told that they can do no wrong. They're told that the world will always cater to them. And they don't understand that's just not the way it works. The world is not always going to cater to you. We live in a very, very evil world. We live in a very mean world, a very hard world. But women are so used to getting everything that they want, they feel like they could continue this go. They can keep it going. And no one's going to stop them. No one's going to call them on it. And then when reality hits for a lot of them, their response to it is just crying victim. And they will cry victim until the very end of their existence. They will say, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. They will never take accountability, because accountability is something that you have to be taught. Men are taught accountability very quickly. They are punished and held accountable for the things that they do and the things that they don't. The way that women behave in society, this is childish thinking. It's worse than childish thinking, because you would not allow a child to behave this way, and yet women are allowed to behave this way. You would not tolerate these lies from a child, but you're told to believe all women and to validate their lies, or else. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. And we live in a society. We live in a society that wants men to be fat, lazy, demoralized, because men are the only ones that can stand up to tyranny. So if you have these men broken, if you have a society filled with broken, miserable, demoralized men, fat, stupid, lazy, then tyranny could run free. Tyranny can do whatever it wants to do. And there's no one to stand up to it. It just needs a few well-trained agents, enforcers, to do its will. And then you rule over humanity. Guys, look at what happened. Look at what happened after the Catholic Church, after the Roman Empire fell. Look at it. They rule, the church ruled over humanity for almost 1,000 years, because people were thrown into a state of extraordinary ignorance. You had all of these people who are now ignorant, and what did they do? They took advantage of it, and they ruled over humanity. They ruled over these people who could not read or write, do basic arithmetic, and told them that they would be headed to hell if they didn't hand over their money to the church. Hell, they could even get their loved ones out of hell, by paying money to the church. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Be so masculine that you don't want to have your guard up anymore, that you can't pay your bills anymore. Why not know how to act and behave properly at a certain time during your life?
Your future husband is never going to be the guy who leaves you writing paragraphs in your notes app. Your future husband is never going to be the guy who makes you feel like you're asking for too much. Your future husband is never going to be the guy who walked away and made it seem like your needs were crazy. Your future husband is never going to be the guy who makes you feel worse about yourself.
If you are thinking like this, you are always going to be debating and talking and dreaming about your future husband, because that husband is going to only exist in your dreams. When my husband and I got into an argument, into a fight, I ended up writing paragraphs into my diary. Why? Because I was reflecting. And a lot of times I was the one actually picking the fight. I was the one not feeling comfortable. I was the one that was mad at something else. I was the one that was on her period, just picking a fight with a man or just having a smart mouth. I mean, I'm always talking about relationships, but that doesn't mean that my relationship is perfect. I'm just over here trying to tell you that a lot of times when these modern women are out here on social media giving you advice, that advice is really no good for you. You cannot sit there and expect your man, your husband, to do all of these things for you, and then you turn around and you're talking about you're not going to bring nothing to the table. She said that your future husband is not going to make you feel like your needs are crazy. But a lot of women are crazy. Let's be honest. A lot of expectations that women have are unrealistic. So how is a man ever supposed to fulfill your need?
Guys, this is why I say we are dealing with people who are functionally insane at best. All right? You're dealing with people who are not playing with a full deck. That's why men have to be consciously aware of the reality that we live in and prioritize our own well-being. The idea that it's our job to make a woman happy is something that has been fed to us by the media and by society and by simps. Oh, a man can never make a woman happy. The more he tries to make her happy, the less happy she's going to be. The more he gives to her, the more she'll require to have another dopamine hit. This is the reason why Chad and Tyrone don't have to give a woman anything. This is the reason why Little Poncho gets it for free, because he's taking her through a series of emotions. He basically sets the bar very low, and that's where she's happiest. All right. Men are out, a lot of high value men are out here chasing low value women while being told that these women have value just for existing. That's a load of absolute nonsense. You can be a truck driver and a very high value man. Okay? You could be a police officer and a very high value man. You could basically do any job, guys. You do almost any job and be a high value man and a high income man. It's about how you take care of yourself, how you carry yourself, and how you manage money. A man with good financial literacy. I'll put it this way: a man who has financial literacy and only makes $25,000 a year will save more and thrive more than a man who has no financial literacy and makes $200,000 a year. You think I am wrong? You think I am joking? I am not. Look at both of these men over the course of 5 to 10 years. You'll find a guy with financial literacy somehow having $30, $40, $50,000 in the bank, maybe even $100,000 in the bank. And the guy with no financial literacy that made $200,000 a year, this guy doesn't have savings. This guy has debt. All right? $500,000, $1 million in debt, still going up. Personal debt that he can never pay off, and he's the high value man. You've got to be kidding me. This is how women think. That's another problem too. A lot of guys are so fast to get into a relationship with a woman, they don't ask critical questions. How much debt do you have? It's not just her body count. That's a big one. But it's also, how much debt do you have? Share that with me. How much debt do you have, sweetie? How much student loan debt do you have? How much, what is your credit score? How have you ever been arrested? Can you imagine chasing women who have long rap sheets, that have been in prison, that have been arrested? Like, so many of us men who live good lives and are virtuous will settle for convicts, for ex-cons, for felons, and not think anything of it. We are literally out here settling for felons and being told that we should like it and love it and accept it. You gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. We've got to do better than this, bro. We've got to do better than this, men. We have to do better than this. Because this can't be it. This ain't it. Tell y'all right now, this ain't it. This right here is a load of absolute bullshit. Men are so much more than this. Men are so much more than that. And we have to stop letting women in society put us down and bring us down.
He can't. It's impossible. If you have women out here that already have a list like this long and are always adding more criteria on top of their list, that man is never gonna be in their lives. Everybody gets that, but these women don't. And another thing is, she said that a man will never make you feel worse about yourself, meaning translating into, I'm feeling bad about myself. You feeling bad about yourself doesn't mean that the man has to make you feel better about yourself. Because if you continuously feel bad about you, the man can do whatever he wants, break his neck. You will never feel good about yourself.
Women who out here, I know a couple that's out here, y'all popping them out like hotcakes. Just remember, one day you're going to be my age. I'm 29. She's 20, how are you, 26? She's 26. One day you're going to be our age. And the more kids you keep popping out, the more kids you're going to keep accumulating, which means the more kids you're going to want some man to accept as his own. Let's be for fucking real. And if you already know how hard it is to date with kids, You already can't find a babysitter. You already missing days of work. You already don't have money for yourself. You already calling out. You already don't have your hair done. Your nails never done. You always walking around here looking how you looking because you got to take care of this kid. Or you might be the other kind of parent who look good and your kid look a fucking hot mess because you trying to keep up your image so you can be able to entertain whoever it is you trying to entertain. Take into consideration that it costs nothing to get on fucking birth control.
Absolutely agreed, and there's nothing else that I can add to everything that this young woman just has said. Look, if you don't want to listen to me, make sure you go ahead and listen to women like her.
Here's the thing, guys. A lot of women actually admit, more than half of women admit, that after they're in a committed relationship, if they are on birth control, they secretly come off birth control. Yeah, they deliberately get pregnant. So they'll go on birth control, they'll tell the guy they're on birth control, and then after they're in a committed relationship and they've settled it, they don't have to be married to the guy, they just have to be in a committed relationship with him. Then they will come off birth control secretly. Because guys, if you give a woman enough time, she will tell on herself. 50% of all women recently revealed that they have a backup man. When I say a backup man, I'm not talking about the guy. Who they're cheating on their husband with. No. Oh, they're cheating, but no. I'm talking about the guy who they're going to leave their husband for. In other words, they have a backup guy that they will monkey branch to and leave their husbands for. That's what I'm talking about. Half of all women have such a man. And this is what men are supposed to put up with. This is what men are supposed to this is what men are supposed to accept. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, guys. And as the world gets worse, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. Guys, don't forget I have a brand new course for you guys, how to survive and thrive using community resources. You guys have been begging me for this course for the better part of a year. I finally delivered the course to you. And it's absolutely incredible because in today's challenging world, knowing how to use government and community resources can make all the difference. That's why I created the Survive and Thrive course. This 12 lesson crash course teaches you how to survive, how to secure cash, money, food, housing, healthcare, and more. Imagine having a trusted advisor showing you how to leverage community support to stabilize your finances and grow your wealth. Join me and learn step-by-step strategies to maximize available resources and enhance your financial stability. Click the link in the description to sign up now, guys. And when you sign up, guys, I'm going to do something special for you. You will get 10% off. So the link that you will find in the description will actually give you 10% off. We're just going to do that on this video for you. So yeah, go ahead and sign up for the course, guys. Go and get the course while you still can. Get that 10% discount because you can see what's happening. It doesn't matter who becomes president. It doesn't matter who becomes president in November, who's elected. We're all screwed one way or another. We are screwed right now. Okay. At best, we will get a bit of a reprieve. Okay, a slight delay, and you should be using that time. You should be using that time wisely to prepare for the hell on earth that is coming. Because you can see right now that we are screwed on every end. We are being hit on every end. Also, guys, don't forget about the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Go and check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse and dive into exclusive podcasts, Gen X stories, and more. Plus, get access to our passive income blueprint, exclusive videos, and guides on building wealth and thriving. We also have a chat where you can reach me directly, so don't miss out. Click the link in the description to subscribe now, guys. You can find a link to the Angry Guy Clubhouse in the description. You can find, and there's all these great articles. There's everything you can imagine over there. So go and check that out, guys. Go and check that out.
I have seen it way too many times. I have heard it way too many times. Women who got married, got their children, decided to leave their marriage because of their own happiness that they just didn't find anymore in this man. Now they have no man. No man because these men are clearly communicating, look, I want you, but I don't want your kids. Can I come around whenever I want to, or do I have to wait till your kids go to sleep? And then the mother is like, no, I am not ready for my kids to meet you, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. I just want to put an emphasis on how hard it is for women out here to date when they have kids. Because only a few men on this planet are willing to take care of another man's child. And I can't blame them. I really cannot. So instead of popping out babies, get on birth control. But it seems like that there is a shift happening.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And I used to be a good man. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't even want to raise my own kids. Bunch of badass kids. I don't want to put up with all that stress. I don't want to put up with all that shit. I'm just being real. You know? Imagine having a kid like guys. Sometimes we also don't get lucky where you end up either having some really badass kids or you end up having kids that have disabilities. And you're gonna have to take care of those kids over the course of their lives. Because a lot of the kids today, they're not right. Okay? Like 99% of Gen Alpha is fucked up. They're all fucked up. Okay? Maybe it's something in the water. I don't know. But it's just a sad reality we live in. And I'm being real. Like, I don't want to put up with the bullshit. If I had kids, they would not be raised in the United States. Hell fucking no, I'm not having kids in the US. Hell fucking no. Another thing is about having kids when you're old. Because people treat you different. They're like, oh, you're an old motherfucker. Yeah, I guess so. I'll say Sylvester Stallone, he has it best right now. Because he's in his 70s and he looks great. He looks really good in his 70s. He has a pretty wife. He has an attractive wife. And his daughters, he has like two beautiful daughters. Two or three. It might actually be three. And, I think he's living his best life. But at the same time, if walls could talk, his wife was going to divorce him at one point, and he was able to sort it out. But it's like always trying to keep these women happy. Come on, y'all.
Women who think that their standards are fine even though they are way too high, but then they also come to the conclusion that men are not approaching them anymore. They're not approaching them because they're sick and tired of the rejection. They're not approaching them because these women are just too much to handle. Men are sick and tired of approaching women they already know their standards are going to be way too high. They're going to be way too stuck up. They're going to always be hit with the, oh, you're not a man. You don't make six figures. You are not 6 feet tall and all of these things. So now women are wondering why they're not being approached anymore and what they have to do in order to get in contact with men. Let's listen to this young lady.
Am I like the only woman that no longer gets approached by men? No, because I had to actually sit and think about this, and I had to ask myself, when is the last time a man came up to me and wanted to get to know me or exchange numbers? And it's been a long time. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely has me questioning myself. Like, am I not as attractive as I thought I am? Am I looking old? Am I intimidating? Like, what is it? So now I'm starting to realize that since men don't come up to me, I have to be the one to go up to them. And that makes me super nervous because it's like, how do I know I'm not going to get rejected if you didn't come up to me in the first place and then I make the decision to go up to you? How do I know I won't face rejection? So can I get some tips and tricks, some advice on how to approach a man that I think is cute? Because I have no idea how to. Like, I'm scared and I feel like I can only approach men if I'm drunk.
Yeah. So welcome to the club, sis. You have these women who've now created a society and a reality where they're beginning to realize that men can no longer approach them. You have some women who are like, good, don't approach us. But if you don't approach us, then how do we approach you? Women don't comprehend that the average man does not want to be approached by an unapproachable woman, If I cannot approach you, then do not come anywhere near me. Don't speak to me. Don't look in my direction. If I cannot look at you, think about this carefully. If I have to be afraid to even look at you or speak to you, why the fuck do I want you approaching me? Okay? I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know if you're going to go ballistic or act stupid. Guys, women will approach a man, start chatting up a dude, right? Most won't do it. But let's say this is a scenario where some do it. And then suddenly she decides that she no longer likes him. She'll then hop on social media and saying that, listen, man, just if we start talking to you and we just start, don't think that it's because we like you. This is a patriarch. They'll go right back to the same crap. As men, we know women, we know modern women now. We know their game. That's why soft guy era dudes are flipping the script and using the exact same words that women use, the exact same terminology, and women get pissed off about it. Like, they think they're just going to keep on attacking and shaming and attacking and shaming and stressing out men. They don't realize that men can clap back too. They don't realize that men have had enough. They don't realize that men are going off the grid. A lot of men are going off the grid. A lot of men are saying we're done with the bullshit. All right, we're walking away. We're done with it, and we're not going to put up with it. Like I said, guys, pick up the Learn How to Survive and Thrive course. This is an incredible course for you guys. We're in a challenging world. You need to learn how to use government and community resources. Over 10 years ago, I was homeless, and guys, I learned how to make it. I learned, guys, I'm thriving right now. All right, I make 6 figures, but that doesn't mean I'm spending all of it. All right. There's so much that you qualify for. Guys, you can minimize your spending. Guys, this is a skill set that you should have. If you lose everything, at least you will not go hungry and you can rebuild very, very quickly. Okay. And even if you are not homeless, even if you are in a good place financially, all right, this is going to teach you how to cultivate that wealth and do even better. That's why I created Survive and Thrive. That's why I created this course, because this 12-lesson crash course is going to teach you how to secure cash, money, food, housing, healthcare, and more. Imagine having a trusted advisor showing you how to leverage community support to stabilize your finances and grow your wealth. Join me and learn step-by-step strategies to maximize available resources and enhance your financial stability. Click the link in the description to sign up now, guys. And like I said, when you sign up using that link, we're going to do that just for this video. You will get 10% off on this course. So head over there, sign up, check that out, guys, because we don't have a lot of time left. Hell on Earth is here.
Often.
Thank you so much, honey, for setting an example for what women need to do more often. Us women need to walk in a man's shoes. Us women need to try to think like a man and how he may feel when we behave a certain way, when we react a certain way, when we respond a certain way to certain situations. So if this woman would have not been approached, just like many other women nowadays, because of certain things, then she would have never sat down and asked herself, what is it? What may be the reason? Now I have to be the one approaching men. What do I have to do? What will I do if I'm being rejected? So many men are so sick and tired of approaching women because they're just so sick and tired of the constant rejection. And they feel as though there are so many other women in other countries just as beautiful, but a lot less delusional and a lot less to have to handle.
And no man wants a woman that they have to handle. There's a good comment here that I like. There's a good comment I like right here. It's from Anthony. He says, never marry when they are paid to divorce you and make you homeless and you never get to see your kids. Never. Guys, I told you that women are incentivized to leave men. Okay, they're incentivized. They operate as agents of the state, and the state rewards them for reallocating wealth and resources from men to the state. And they don't care how women do this. If it's through divorce court, if it's through family court, if it's through criminal court or civil court, they don't care how it's done. They just care that women get it done because they get a cut of that. Okay, don't forget that the state consciously knows that any money that passes through a woman's hand will eventually return to them as well, because women make 80% of all consumer purchases are made by women. So the money that they're even allowed to keep, the state's just going to get it right back one way or another. One way or another, it's going to go right back to the state and private corporations. Because don't forget that we do not live in a democracy or a republic. We live under a federal corporation. All right, because we were sold out long ago. All of these cities that we live in, they can go bankrupt because they operate as corporations. They have massive amounts of debt. They sell bonds. And treasury debts, and then they basically say that, well, we'll pay you interest on these things. These states can't even pay their interest right now. The states can't pay their interest. The government cannot pay, the federal government cannot pay the interest on the $35 trillion in debt that we have. It cannot do it. All right. That's why they're continuously trying to run up inflation, even though it's leaving people in a damn near destitute state. Like we're going to end up in stagflation very soon. And that's only going to lead into a massive depression. And there's really no way out of it. And I'll tell you how the government's going to deal with it. They're just going to deal with it by claiming it's not happening. Oh, everything is just fine. You'll have people homeless in the streets. The media will dance around it. They'll act like everything is going wonderful. And of course, you'll have those people who will still have their jobs, but they'll basically do their best to hide the homeless, to hide the poverty, to hide all of the hardship, just like they're doing now. Even at the worst of it, they'll say that we're doing great. That's the level of corruptness that we are absolutely living under. This is why I've said that Gen Z is going to be a generation. They're going to be a squatting and farting generation. Yeah, stealing and squatting generation. Sleeping and farting. Yes, they already are. But squatting and stealing. Because Gen Z is not on the level. They are not built for hard times. And you jackasses that go around saying that it's because of Gen X. And I even have Gen Xers blaming Gen X. Fuck you guys. All right? For Gen Z. Listen to me. No one gave us an easy time. No one's gonna say, hey, Uncle Angry, how you doing, Uncle? How you doing, Uncle? Fuck you. All right, you don't give a shit. You turn to me looking for advice. You turn to me looking at an adult. Well, you're an adult. You are an adult, Angry. What about when I was that age and no one did shit for me? Well, those were different times, man. Those were different times. Fuck you. All right. Gen Z needs to get their shit together, but they can't. Because they were handed such easy lives and they never learned how to struggle, and their mindset is of consumers, not producers, that it's really over. These are a lot of these individuals are very nasty people, very nasty, very lazy. Even when Gen Zers are being paid fairly, they'll steal from you. For example, you'll have a Gen Zer, they're working at a company, they're making good money, all right? Instead of taking their job serious, they'll go on vacation. If they're working remotely, they'll go on vacation to another country. All right. And and some of them are getting fired. Like the company finds out that they're not actually, at home and working from home. They're actually out partying and having fun. They get fired. And so a lot of people go, well, it's okay. People have been doing that forever. No, if you are hired to do remote work from anywhere in the world, that's different. For example, I have people who work for me. Okay. I have consultants. I have contractors, and they do different work they do different work for me. I don't give a shit if they're working from home, they're working from the office, they're working from a beach. This means nothing to me as long as the work gets done. But if you are these are not, but listen to me, these are subcontractors. But if you are a person who is working for a company and there is an expectation that you are supposed to be at home, first off, there's insurance. And I didn't know this. A lot of these people are insured for accidents. So, for example, if they get injured on company time while they're supposed to be at home, evidently, in theory, the insurance should actually cover them. But they're not at home. They're not doing their jobs. When you've paid Gen Zers fairly, that doesn't mean that you get the work out of them that you're supposed to get out of them. By the way, guys, if you've made it all the way to 1 hour of this video, type 1 hour gang in the comments. 1 hour gang, 1 hour gang, 1 hour gang, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. And guys, don't forget to go and check out Soraya. I'm gonna have her channel linked in the description so you can go check her out and give her some support. I mean, guys, these broke girls are out here. They're out here with high standards, and now they're in tears. All right. What do you think about this? I want to know your thoughts. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.